Hello, my name is John Morris. Thank you for joining me today for this short video called The Yoga Body versus the Fitness Body, the truth nobody talks about. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you that fitness and yoga are two really different experiences, and they treat your body extremely differently, and you will age completely differently by doing different things. Yoga and fitness are completely a polar opposite of each other. And in today's video, I'll be sharing with you what's called New Anatomy, which explores nice, brilliant ideas that leave behind the old anatomy ideas that have been plaguing us and leaving us in the dark ages for years. So this video will bring you up to date and become part of the leading edge community of people looking for new and exciting ideas. So basically, we were taught to believe, or at least I was, if I just practiced fitness and went to the gym and worked out and did my cardio and strength training, that I'd be fit and pain-free and live forever. Well, it wasn't true. I played sports early on, and I had many injuries, and I did all my workouts, my core workouts and my gym workouts and my aerobic classes, and I cycled and swam, tennis, racquetball, lifted weights 6 days a week, and I had that hard body that you feel pumped up. You get pumped up on testosterone and adrenaline, and you flex your muscles in the mirror, and you feel powerful and strong. Yet there's one thing missing. I was aching every day in my life. I had back pain, I had sciatica, I had hip problems, knee problems, plantar fasciitis, pinched nerves in my neck, because the fitness body of mine had destroyed my body. And the hardness of the body just destroyed me. And so I couldn't even walk anymore. And that's what fitness did. And I see that over and over again. So what I did, I shifted in my early 30s to the yoga world, which was a whole different body. And what I've seen over time is, as a body worker, I've probably worked on 20,000 clients in my 40-year practice. The worst bodies I work on are people who go to the gym and work out and they're fit and they lift weights and they cycle. The athletes, the former athletes, the current athletes, the weekend warriors, they're the worst bodies I work on because the tissues are dead, dried out. They've hidden their injuries and imbalances beneath layers of hard tissue. They're basically disguised. All their hardness and all their imbalances are still there, but they've hidden them. And so the best people I work with are the yoga people, not just somebody who does yoga once every year, but regularly and is committed to it. They're the best bodies I work on. So today I'm going to show you the difference. The people with the healthiest bodies are actually the yoga people, and the people with the worst bodies are the fit people, the athletes, the gym people. And I'll share with you why that is. And we'll explore a whole other way to envision the body going forward. In my early days, I used to look at yoga people with judgments. Go, those wacky, flexible people, they're not really working out. They're just stretching and all that stuff. I need to work out and I need to get hard in my muscles. In fact, I listen to so many podcasters, even the natural ones, the holistic ones, the chiropractors, the naturopaths. They're still promoting harden your body, tighten, more muscle, more muscle, more muscle. That isn't incorrect, because from somebody like myself who actually touches bodies, those bodies are horrible. Those bodies are horrible when all you do is muscle. We live in a culture called the muscle industrial complex, which convinces us we need to keep muscling our body. And those bodies are deteriorating. They're dried out. They're hard. They're stiff. They're worn out. Their joints are worn out. They have lack of mobility. So when I went to the yoga world, I watched people who didn't even look very athletic, doing all kinds of amazing things with their body, and not just their flexibility, but their strength as well, going, wow, how can they do that? They're not lifting weights. And I realized it's a whole other level of strength you get. So you not only get strength, but flexibility when you practice yoga. And I'm here to share with you today how it's a much healthier system to keep your body enlivened going forward. So essentially, I've spent much of my life in both worlds. My first 35 years was in the fitness world, the gym world, always having 2 or 3 gym memberships. And I've always had to go work out and get my cardio in and my strength training and my push-ups, my pull-ups, my bench presses and whatnot. And it destroyed my body and it covered up all my injuries. And then when I joined the yoga world the last 30 years or so, it enlivened my body and it made it alive and light and flexible and soft and with all kinds of strength as well. So it's a completely different body that I transformed into from going into the yoga world. So I find that we're in an industrial complex of fitness where they teach us keep building muscle, keep building strength and harden your bodies. You know, the whole hard chest, hard muscles, hard biceps, the whole abs of steel mentality. Well, I think it's wrong, and it's taking the human body in the wrong direction, and people are suffering, but they don't even know they're suffering because they think by going to the gym and becoming hard and tight that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I can guarantee you, from one person here who touches bodies every day, those are the worst bodies that I work with. So the following are a couple of different segments on the difference between the yoga body and the fitness body, and they're really different. And I'll be showing you why they're different and what direction I would agree to go to. The first segment to talk about is how yoga is nature-based. People who first developed yoga, whether it be 100 years ago or some people believe 4,000 years ago, they watched animals and nature and watched how animals stretch, and that was some of the beginning part of how yoga is a nature-based system and fitness is a war-based system. So yoga essentially is a nature-based system that was developed watching nature. And here's what I'm talking about. A dog gets up from a nap, and what does it do? It stretches because it's natural. So that's the nature-based system that yoga follows from nature, stretching. On the other hand, fitness developed for war, combat. Athletes are warriors. They have to harden and strengthen their body to compete or come into combat with another individual or team or city. So fitness is a war-based system. And this is a picture of somebody in a yoga pose. Interestingly, it's called downward facing dog. You wonder why? We learn it from nature, we learn it from animals, and it's stretching the body and also providing strength at the same time. So one of the key proponents of yoga, the concepts, is to get you to relax. It's designed to release your stress response and to come into relaxation response. It's called the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you leave a yoga class, it doesn't happen always, but the goal is to be in a relaxation response. However, if you do fitness and fitness training and gym workouts and whatnot, the goal is to keep you pumped up on testosterone, adrenaline, and cortisol, which are stress hormones. The goal of fitness is to jack you up into a stress response because it's a war state. So there's two different bodies going on. When you leave the gym, you might feel good because you're pumped up on stress hormones. You need to run out to Starbucks to get your caffeine. And the yoga world is when you leave yoga class, you just want to go rest somewhere with a cup of tea because you're not in war. So the fitness body is in war, and the yoga body most likely is in a relaxation response. Much of fitness began, at least in the Western world, in Greece about 2,000 years ago with the first Olympics. You know, you had these city-states and they would battle each other all year long, and they would fight for territory and all kinds of minerals and whatnot. And then for 2 months out of the year, they'd stop actually killing each other and form war games. We call them the Olympics. And they had to harden and tighten their body to practice pseudo-war, which was called sport. And through sport, you had to develop your body to be hard, tight, and stiff in order to conquer the enemy, whether that's real or imaginary. And through the first Olympics, we developed one sport after another, but the concept's still the same. I need to harden, tighten my body to go into battle. I'm getting ready for battle. I have to prepare myself for battle because I need to harden, tighten, and prepare my body to go conquer the enemy because I'm a warrior, and that's what athletes see themselves are. It's completely different in the yoga world. You're not trying to battle anybody. Every time I've been in a yoga class, I look around. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I'm not trying to battle anybody, knock each other down. In fact, it's kind of interesting. I've never been in a yoga class where we had to have an ambulance waiting outside for us. Every professional sport has an ambulance waiting and a doctor and a staff of medical team waiting to take off the dying and dead soldiers from the battlefield, the warriors. Most college sports have the same thing. In many high school sports, there's always an ambulance waiting and doctors on staff. Every yoga retreat I've ever been on, we've never had an ambulance waiting for us because we're not in war. And so the bodies are different. The fitness body is a body in war, so it actually, that's how it's represented. The yoga body is a body looking for relaxation and elongation. Completely different experiences. Fitness is about putting on a suit of armor to go into battle. We in the body work world call it the body armor for a reason, because when you tighten your hard chest and shoulder muscles and your legs, you're building armor around your body to protect and defend yourself because you're going into battle. The fitness body is about conquering and destroying because that's the warrior mentality. I need to build big biceps and big chest muscles because I need to conquer others. Whether you're actually playing a sport or not, that's the mentality that's injected into the fitness world. So your body is a suit of armor looking for something or somebody to conquer. I can recall when I got into the body work and yoga world, I would open my chest and do back bends and opening poses and heart opening poses, and I had fascia body work, stretching the fascia across my chest, and all of a sudden I had this amazing revolution. First, there was lots of emotion coming up because I had built hard, tight muscles across my chest for so long to protect my heart. Also, what happened for the first time, I felt like I can breathe. All of a sudden, all those heavy-duty chest muscles were now released, and I can breathe for the first time. So when you build a suit of armor, you're condensing your energy into hard, dense, dried-out tissue because you basically built a suit of armor around you. The sad thing is, it's not just for adults. We teach our children how to be little warriors too, so they can harden and tighten their body. The world would be such a different place if we taught our children to get up and do yoga or stretch in the morning rather than learn how to beat each other up. And this is how we train our children. We go to church or temple on Saturday or Sunday morning and come out and rush off. We put our uniform on, go to the field or the court, and we teach our children how to beat each other up and knock each other down and become little warriors. And that gets ingrained into the body, so as their body ages, they're all worn out and worn down because they've been beating each other up for the rest of their early life. This is what we call good family values. There's a gigantic difference between the warrior fitness body, like in this man lifting weights and hardening his body and preparing for battle, or at least symbolically, and the body of a yogi who's basically opening their heart and lengthening and creating space and distance while still maintaining a healthy body. And here's the yoga experience, a heart opening pose, lengthening, creating space and openness and vitality in the body. And they're not looking very muscular because they're creating space. They're not worried about how bulky and hard. They're not trying to defend themselves and prepare for battle. They're opening their heart in this pose. So the interesting thing is we've normalized war in our body. And it shows. Once again, as a body worker for 40 years, I can tell you that people practicing fitness are in a war state. Their bodies are hard, tight, and dense and glued together. The people who practice yoga over time are completely different. They're soft, they're open, they're spacious, their tissues feel different. And so it's a completely different body. Most people are moving the wrong direction, doing the wrong thing because that's what the media and scientists and medical doctors are telling them to do. I think that's a mistake. Once again, this is normalized family entertainment these days where we watch two people, men or women, beating each other up with hard, tight, stiff bodies, muscled bodies, who are out there trying to kill each other. This is what we've created as normal. The second concept I want to talk about today is how athletes don't age very well at all. That might come to a shock to many, but that's what I've experienced. We have this false perception that if we just become athletic, will live forever and be pain-free. Well, look at the former retired athletes, from tennis players to football players to basketball players. There's a numerous amount of back surgeries and hip replacements and knee replacements and pain medications and all kinds of problems. And their lifespan isn't as long as you might think. A boxer's lifespan is around 67. If you've played in the National Football League as a football player, your lifespan is about 59. If your lineman is closer to 55. Athletes are worn down because their bodies are hard, tight, rigid, and all the training and all the collisions and all the brain trauma. It wears you down over time, and those injuries don't go away. And most people, after they're done in their playing career, they keep doing the same things, lifting weights, running, hardening their bodies. They're not correcting anything. They're compensating for it. So athletes don't age very well at all. They've fallen apart, and we keep praising them, and we keep looking for them as role models. Is the worst thing you could be doing. What I find is yoga people age the best because their bodies are different. They're lighter. They're softer, they're more open, more spacious, they have better breathing patterns, their minds are more focused, they have better energy, they're mostly pain-free, they're a completely different body, and it's a completely different experience. So once again, my two experiences are from my personal experience when I practice fitness every day. It wore me down, it wore me out, I couldn't sleep, my hips hurt, my knees hurt, everything hurt. I was broken, and my shifting into the yoga experience, I have no pain. I am completely pain-free. All that pain is gone. And in my professional work as a body worker and massage therapist, once again, I see people come through my door who are in pain, and most of them are athletes or former athletes, and they're worn down. They're broken. They have all kinds of injuries that never got taken care of, and their fascia is hard and tight, and their bodies are broken. Yet we keep praising athletes as this is the role model, and this is a complete mistake. The role model should be the yoga experience because it's a completely different body. The yoga body is so much healthier than the fitness body by large amounts, not even close. So this is why I'm sharing with you today, because what I've experienced with my own hands is fitness is going to destroy you over time, and the yoga experience is going to enlighten you and remove the pain over time. Some of this dramatic change in the body occurs because of the fascia. Now, we don't know much about fascia because it's not studied very much by medical doctors or whatnot. But if you take an orange and open up an orange, the orange part would be the muscles in the body, and the white part would be the fascia in the body. The fascia is the connective tissue that essentially is the scaffolding of the body, and it holds everything together. The fitness body will focus on developing muscles, but in return what happens is the fascia dries out, and it glues together, and it shrinks and it hardens into what's called beef jerky. Where in the yoga body, much of the work is done to lengthen and soften and keep moist the fascia. It's a completely different experience. So here's the analogy I like to use. Here's your muscle fibers, and in the fitness world, you're trying to build myofibrils, muscle fibers. Either the ones you have, you're trying to increase the size or increase the number. That's why people lift weights. What happens is the fascia is the surrounding connective tissue around the muscle fibers. And so what happens if all you do is lift weights and practice fitness, you shrink and you dry out the surrounding fascia tissue. So over time, it looks like concrete. You have muscle fibers, but your fascia is dried out. So the fitness body is a body of concrete because the fascia is dried out. You might have muscle fibers, but you have concrete and petrified tissue because you went from this here, soft liquid fascia, into concrete fascia, and that's how most people age incorrectly. Also, the yoga world is like a bag of water, where if the fascia is a large part of our life, it's water, it's liquid. We want to think about ourselves as water, liquid. Most people think about themselves as a bag of rocks. And the fitness world is teaching us, make your body hard like a bag of rocks, and that's going to keep you healthy. Where the yoga experience is saying, no, let's make your body soft like water, And that's a completely different way to think about things. So when I shifted into perception changes and started thinking about myself, I want to soften my body, not harden my body. That's what made all the difference. And that's a large part of what makes fitness different from the yoga experience. The fitness people are trying to turn their body into a bag of rocks. The yoga people are trying to keep their body into a soft liquid state, a bag of water. And that's a huge difference. The third misconception is we taught to believe that the only way to be healthy is through fitness, and that's a mistake because that's not true at all. Health and fitness are essentially two completely different things. So we have this errant belief, we throw around these terms health and fitness are really different things. Fitness is hardening your body, preparing your body for battle, for war. Now there are some times when you can use fitness to get healthy. I call it the 15% factor. If you want to lose weight, you become more fit. You hire a trainer, you lift weights, you do your cardio. If you want to help your blood pressure by doing cardiovascular exercise, you can help that. So there are times when fitness can help your health. But health is not just about muscled bodies. It's about how you sleep and how you digest and how you eliminate and your energy flow and all kinds of things. And I would say 85% of what happens at a gym or fitness center has nothing to do with health. It's about looking in the mirror and pumping your chest up and pumping your bicep out, looking how cosmetically great you look in a bathing suit. So while it has small implications, most times fitness has nothing to do with health. It's a completely different area. So we'll often look at, for example, this picture here. A gentleman has ripped abs and he's got bulging chest muscles and biceps, and they go, look how healthy he is. This is not a healthy body necessarily. This is a fit body. Fit bodies aren't necessarily healthy. They are hypertonic and they have all kinds of bulging muscles, but that does not make them healthy. For instance, I've noticed in the yoga practice, the yoga body might not look fit. You might have a little bulging weight on your belly. You might have sagging muscles, but you might be much healthier. So the yoga body might not look ripped, and it can, but most often it doesn't. But it's often a much healthier body because it's working from the inside out. Where the fitness world is working from the outside in, the yoga body is from the inside out, and it might be actually a healthier body. Another picture, for example, the yoga body might not look ripped and fit. You might have extra weight or you might look skinny. But you actually might be much healthier. You have better balance, you have better breathing, better digestion. Your mind is clear, you're able to relax. You can have more flexibility, more ability to move through space. This body is much healthier than a ripped, fit body. So the body is a series of layers and tubes. The fitness world tends to put on layers, put on bulky tissue on top of old tissue, where the yoga experience is trying to peel away layers, peel away all the hardness and the tightness and all the old injuries. They're moving in completely different directions. The fitness body is protecting and defending, hardening and putting on layers and layers and layers. And the yoga body's peeling away, trying to discover new possibilities. They're completely different bodies. So for example, in many yoga classes or yoga retreats, either myself or a practitioner all of a sudden breaks into sobbing and tears and grief as the heart is opening and sadness is relieving and all kinds of energy being flowed out of the body. I've never seen that at the gym unless you drop a weight on your toe where somebody's actually crying and sobbing, because the gym is designed to deaden your senses, where the yoga world is designed to enliven your senses and bring the energy out and all those trapped traumas that are coming out of the body. So your body's trying to free itself from trapped energy when you do the yoga practice, where the fitness body is trying to protect those areas. And the fourth concept I want to share with you is how there's a difference between muscular strength and energetic strength. So when I first started learning yoga, I was afraid I wasn't getting strong enough because I wasn't lifting weights and building muscles. What I found was There's differences in types of strength, and I became stronger doing yoga than I did lifting weights, my bench presses and my chest presses and everything else, because I was using my body for the strength building. I was also keeping my energy flowing through my fascia, and when the energy flows through the fascia, it creates a whole other level of strength, because muscular strength and energetic strength are two completely different things. And here's a picture of somebody at the gym practicing muscular strength through fitness, trying to build more myofibrils, more muscle fibers. This is the old model of building strength. And here's the yoga strength. You're not only building myofibril, muscle fibers, you're also letting energy flow through your fascia. So you have energetic strength because you're stretching while you're holding a pose. And that's a whole different level of strength. And here's energetic strength again. It's much more pure of a system. The energy is moving through the fascia tissue, and you're getting strong through the flow of energy, not building myofibrils so much. So here's how the energy of the body works. If this was your spine here, and these are the vertebrae, and there's muscles and fascia along the vertebrae. In the old model, the old anatomy model, the fitness model is tighten everything up around your spine and contain the back. Contain it like a column. We're not a column. We want to stretch in the yoga world. For example, the fascia tissue is where the energy of the body flows through it here. And when the fascia is soft and liquid, you have chi and energy flowing through it. In the fitness model, you deaden your energy because you're spending your life, your core work. You're tightening and hardening the tissue around your spine, for example, and that deadens your energy flow, your chi flow. Where in the yoga world, we want chi to flow, but we have to keep the fascia soft and liquid. You don't want to harden and tighten the tissue around the spine. You want to lengthen it. So in the fitness model, it's believed the body's a column, a series of blocks stacked on top of each other. And we want to harden and tighten the body. That's the whole bag of rocks concept. And that deadens your fascia, deadens your chi. The body's not a column. The body's what's called a tensegrity model. It's a series of cables and pulleys stretching in every direction. We're not a column that needs to be hardened. We want to be lengthened. And when you lengthen the soft tissue, the fascia, the chi flows through it. And you have a healthier body. So it's really two different concepts. Old anatomy is what fitness is based on. It's based on hardening and tightening your body because it's believed the body's a column. New anatomy says the body's not a column at all. It's a layer of tubes and cables that want to be lengthened and stretched and kept liquid. And when you do that, the fascia remains open and the chi flows through it. Two completely different bodies. And here's one of the analogies I like to make, a brick building. Imagine you're building a brick building. Basically, you put a layer down of concrete and steel as a foundation. When it dries, you put a layer of mortar down. And when the mortar dries, you basically put a layer of bricks on top, and you put mortar between the building, between the bricks, and you stack one layer at a time, mortar, bricks, mortar, bricks. After a while, you put a roof on, some windows, doors, some electricity, plumbing. You have a brick building. Or is it really a brick building at all? The fitness world calls it a brick building, but let's look at it differently. It's really not a brick building. It's actually a mortar building. It's actually the mortar holding the building together and up, and that's a difference. Well, the fitness world focuses on muscles. The yoga world focuses on the fascia. The muscles would be the bricks. The fascia is the mortar. So here's another way to look at it. The fitness world is focusing on the bricks, which are called muscles. The yoga world is focusing on the mortar, the space between the muscles, which is called the fascia. Two completely different experiences. And here's another way to look at energetic strength versus muscular strength. For instance, muscular strength is like a locomotive going across the country at 65 miles an hour with a steam engine. You put coal or wood into the steam engine, it heats a fire, it creates steam, it propels you, and it does fine. It lumbers along and does fine. That's what muscle building does. But it's a lumbersome way to build strength. Here's a picture of a high-speed train going at 200 miles an hour. Much more efficient than a locomotive. That's what energetic strength is. When you practice yoga frequently, you're keeping your fascia soft and open, and the chi flows through it, creating another level of strength far greater than the old locomotive muscle building strength. It's like having another gear in your body. That's the difference between the yoga world and the fitness world. Energetic strength versus muscular strength. So one of the distinctions that I found in the yoga body versus the fitness body, the fitness body is dense and packed with hard muscles, and it causes the fascia, the surrounding layer of tissues, to be hard, dried out, and glued together. And it causes fitness people to shrink as they age because they become like beef jerky. Where the yoga body is alive and with life because the fascia remains liquid and you have all this chi running through it. And so the chi is opening up and flowing, and it becomes a whole other level of not just strength, but an energized body. A liquid, soft, energized body, much like the high-speed train versus the locomotive. So when I work on yoga people, they have a greater flow of energy. When I work on fitness people, my bodywork table, they have a denser, harder body that's dried out. Those are really big distinctions. And here's a picture of a flowing, energized body in a yogi where there's energy moving through the shoulders. As you open up the body and you elongate, you're keeping the fascia soft and liquid, which creates energy flow, and your chi is moving, and it creates a whole nother level of strength, far greater than just building muscle fibers. For instance, in energetic strength, I remember learning the wheel pose, which is the back bend. And it took me years because I had built so much hard tissue from weightlifting for so many decades. And eventually I could get myself up, and I practiced and practiced, and I opened up. At one point, I got to a point where I can hold the wheel pose for 5 minutes. And there's a certain point during that duration where I could feel my body shifting from muscular strength to energetic strength. It's like having another gear, where all of a sudden the energy was holding me up in the pose and not the muscle fibers themselves. And you can feel that shift. But your body's got to be open enough, and you have to have a flow of energy through the fascia to make that happen. So it's a whole different experience when you start to feel the energy starting to build strength, but it takes a while to get the fascia soft and liquid so the energy flows through it again. There's a really big distinction between a muscled fitness body and a yoga energized body. They're completely different. So once again, I've been in both worlds, and I prefer the yoga world much better than the gym fitness world because my body is different. And for what I've just spoken about in this video, there's major differences between the yoga experience and the fitness experience, and it shows up in your physical tissues. And people don't realize it, but they might be doing the wrong things, going in the wrong direction, but that's what they're told to do. So I'm presenting what's called new anatomy to you because new anatomy sheds hundreds of years of ideas that are just old and tired and boring and often wrong. So if you'd like to be part of this leading edge community, just subscribe to my channel here for more leading edge videos to come. I've got a great book out called Return to Nature, the 5 Pillars of Healing. And you can visit me at my website, johnburris.com, for more great information. So thank you for watching today.